The Roman Catholic Church has been in the business of selling salvation to the naive. And she does this all in the name of Christ, who offers salvation as a free gift. Matthew chapter 10, verse 8, Romans chapter 3, verse 24, and Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 all say that salvation is a free gift. Pope Leo X, who cursed and excommunicated Martin Luther, in his time, specific prices were established by the Roman Chancery to be paid to the Church for absolution from crimes. For example, a deacon guilty of murder could be absolved for 20 crowns. Now, if you're asking that, is this a new thing or is this a one-time thing? Well, folks, let me tell you something. This is nothing new. 200 years earlier, Pope John the 22nd set a price for every crime from murder to incest to sodomy. The more Catholics sinned, the richer the church grew. Pope Innocent VIII had granted the 20-year butterbeef indulgence. For a certain sum, one could purchase the privilege of eating the favorite dishes during Lent and other times of fasting. And unfortunately, the people believed that popes had such power. Pope Julius III renewed this indulgence for another 20 years after he came to office. All the beautiful cathedrals and churches that you see and enjoy, remember who paid for them? The sinners who were buying forgiveness from the Catholic Church. Pope Benedict IX ascended to Peter's throne at the age of 11. Imagine an 11-year-old pronouncing forgiveness of sins as Christ's one and true representative on earth. Of course, according to the Catholics. If you are still not convinced that the Catholic Church is not the one true church that Christ instituted, then you have to hear this. Pope Leo X commissioned the Dominican Friar Tetzel to sell indulgences, which it was promised would free those in purgatory, or release the purchaser if brought in his own name. Don't get me started on purgatory. Purgatory is not a biblical thing. Purgatory does not exist. But just for the sake of argument, let's say it exists, which it doesn't, don't get me wrong, but let's say it does exist. Charging people money so that they won't go to purgatory and they will go straight to heaven is insane. And imagine if you have a relative in purgatory and you're paying money in their name so that they will go to heaven. Now, Protestants, they believe that the Catholic Church has changed. Well, that's not true. In the Vatican II Council, there are 17 pages that explain indulgences and how to obtain them. So no, the Catholic Church has not changed and will not change until Christ returns. The entire teaching on indulgences denies the sufficiency of Christ's redemptive sacrifice for sins upon the cross. My dear fellow Catholics, let's have a one-on-one conversation. Let's talk about this. Pope after pope after pope after pope, and they do exact same thing. Now you can say Pope Francis is a corrupt pope, but what about all the other ones that I mentioned? And there's many more that I haven't mentioned. So think about this. If the Catholic Church is really the church that Christ instituted, why is there so much corruption since the beginning of time? It's not a recent thing. Imagine forgiving someone because they have money. Like I mentioned, the deacon, he pays 20 crowns and he's forgiven for murder. And the other people who are paying money so that they can eat anything or their favorite dishes during Lent or other fasting. It's unbelievable the things that the Catholic Church has done. Can you imagine that? It's a free gift. Salvation is a free gift. We should never pay any money for salvation. It's not of our works. It is a free gift that Christ fulfilled all on the cross. All you have to do is believe that he died on the cross for your sins, and you will be saved. And as always, thank you for watching. If you like the content, please give it a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are. Do you still believe that the Catholic Church is the one true church that Christ instituted? I have other videos on this. If you are still not convinced, please go and watch them. And God bless you and your families.